welcome back. This is the poet Izzy Human with the philosopher Dunamis on this week's episode number 29, Fight for Strength. Please be sure to hit that like button on your way in. And if you like us, consider subscribing to keep up with our episodes on YouTube and give us a follow on X.
And Fightcast is here to empower individuals to live healthier, master their finances, pursue dreams, and inspire others through self-awareness and global impact. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only, and not financial advice.
Howdy ho, how's it go?
Oh man, it's been a pretty good week. I'd say it's a little subdued, but that's just because I've been super busy, man. I made it to that church group that I told you on
Yes.
Tuesday, and that was great, man. They had pizza. We read the Word. We were reading in the Book of Revelation, and that was fun. Wednesday, made it back out for karaoke night, and had a blast with that. So I've been working out. This week is Fight for Strength, and so I've been getting up, going to the gym, taking my walks, doing push-ups anytime I have my restless energy, and it's good, but it's hard to say that I'm really enjoying it just because I'm just working so hard.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I've been in solitude. I've been in this album mode, as you guys know. I've been working with this and I've got the tracks recorded, been working on album art, been balancing getting out and at least just enjoying a lunch somewhere or just going outside to touch some grass. It's just been quiet, which is nice. And I haven't let a whole lot of traffic come into my space. So I know for me at times when I get into that mode, it seems like I'm very standoffish when in reality I am locked and loaded. And that's where I've been. I've been in locked and loaded mode.
Well, that's a good place to be. I mean, so you've been in your flow state, drinking
Yes.
drinking mushroom coffee and enjoying life.
Indeed, indeed. Enjoying all of nature's sounds and just letting it come, but being strategic about it as well. Just listening to that voice that talks nice to me in my head.
That's awesome. We need to do that a lot more. And we're gonna get more into the health, the wellness, and stuff in the future. This week, of course, we're diving really into strength, and with this topic in particular, I don't want to just focus on physical strength. I know that that's been a focus of mine this week, and we're always talking about eating healthy and getting out there and moving and all of that stuff. But I also think that it's important to take a step back and maybe talk about the state of men in America, just in general, like
Mm,
maybe from more of a spiritual perspective as well, and a mental perspective. We have that we've talked about the fourth turning on this podcast a few times, just at least mentioning that phrase that, you know, um, good times make weak men make bad
mm,
times make strong men, and then strong men make good times.
hmm.
And what does that really mean? I mean, are we talking about a bunch of, bodybuilders running around that make the world a better place? I don't think that's really what it's talking about, right?
Yeah, a bit extreme. That would be on the far end of that, I would imagine.
It's really more about, I think, a strong man. I always think also of the phrase when they talk about that for evil to prevail, the only thing that it takes for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing.
Yes, agreed.
And so, in my mind, I think of a weak man is a man that does nothing.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, and I feel like too. When you think about all of this, it's health is wealth.
Mhm.
And the wealthiest thing that you can have in this world is a strong, rich mind. And when you
Mhm.
have a strong, rich mind, you are somebody who can't be hoodwinked. You know, you're somebody who's careful, methodical, strategic, rational, empathetic, charismatic, adaptive. You embody flow. You flow state. You are in flow state at that point where you're able to read into a situation and evaluate in just a matter of seconds if it's for you or not. And to go back and what you were speaking about and just and I feel like when you're men specifically, we'll say that, but just I want everybody to think generally when we're talking about men, man, I mean, I'm going to say specifically in America because I can't speak on the rest of the world, I don't live there, but men in America, we've gone through a lot of different transitions over the generations of just how we're portrayed in movies and how we act and just the roles that we play. And when you look at all of these things create trends and it becomes something that is a part of your everyday lives. And you have some people that adapt to it, but then you have other people that are like trying to adjust or be tolerant of it. But in space, you're creating division, and that and ultimately. Now, before I get too deep into this, I do want to reel it back in because what I'm trying to say is there's a level of programming that we have to remember about what's going on here. All right, because at the end of the day, it's not a me versus you, and it never has been a me versus you in that space. And I'm not saying that it's us versus anybody else, but the person or the entity that you need to harness and really home in with the most is yourself to realize that these other things aren't you and you are who you say you are. And that's been the toughest thing. We have been told that our identity just changes because of because some things are uncomfortable when they weren't before. And again, I don't want to get too deep. I just want to just put that into the universe of just remembering who you say you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, what you're talking about, it kind of goes really to the depths of our identity and our strength. I think are really oftentimes tied together. And again, we don't know everything that goes on in this country and in the government, and so we're not going to be. I can't be the conspiracy theorist that tells you that everybody's being weakened on purpose, but it almost feels that way. There's whether it's psychological manipulation, whether it's Hollywood and media and everything that's on television and anything that causes, stress and the food that makes us not only unhealthy but really creates estrogen in men's bodies and makes them more women like. There's there are things that are just going on that when taken separately it's unfortunate, but when you put it all together it's really really bad, and it makes us question, is this on purpose, I think that I think it is all tied together. We talked about this before, that you have to be eating the right foods. You have to you have to be well physically, and then that helps your mental health. And if you're well mentally, that can help your physical health, and spiritually. It's all tied together, right?
Hmm. Right. It is. It's that it's when you think about molecules and you think about neurotransmitters and you think about how all of these things work, and the neurotransmitters especially because it's sending signals to send responses, and you think about what has to happen and all of that in its entirety and the connectivity that comes with that. Why wouldn't this be the same thing? Because again, we are ants on this world, and to see how we would see how we actually move from up top, it's pretty it's humbling. It is. But recognizing that loop, recognizing the cycle, or recognizing the loop and breaking the cycles within the loop to, again, to just keep a forward mentality. Gosh, easiest, hardest thing to do.
Hmm. Yeah, it's interesting, the ant analogy too. It has me thinking about the idea of when you look down on all of mankind, as a whole, and you think about the suffering that we go through. It's it's through pain and suffering in some way, shape, and form that we become strong. You don't become strong unless you go through the pain to become strong.
Yeah.
And so there's times when I think we look at things in life and ask, why is this happening, or is this something that's bad, and not recognizing that it's really meant to make us stronger.
And that's why I love working out, just the physicality of that, because you are the one, you're telling yourself that you have the willpower to do this. So as you go through that workout and you're pushing through those reps and you're going through that other set and you're taking that 90-second rest and you're staying on the 90-second rest, you're keeping yourself disciplined throughout all of that. You're counting your breaths, you're on this regiment, and you're putting your body through something, and knowing that your mind is stronger than your body, and just knowing that like your mind is going to tell you when something is improper, therefore could cause possible harm. So all of that coming into place and just being technical and being precise with it, and the meditation, if anything else, meditation, the most wonderful form of medicine that God has invented in this world is meditation, and being able to not block things out, but let the nuances just fade. Let them naturally fade. Let them dissipate, because those things are not your overcast. They're just clouds. It's just they come and they go. Some cause rain, some spread, some dissipate. That they vaporize.
Mhm.
And realizing that it really doesn't mean anything. People will be like, "Well, what is it?" Like all of it. Like, and I think that's the joke. I
Yeah.
think that's yeah. Truth be told, I think that's the joke. Because I'm a very firm believer in in God, and I feel like it's just the joke of like, man, we think all of these things are important, and and it doesn't matter what it is. It could be $5, it could be $25, or it could be $25,000. We still found it important enough to be frugal or frivolous to have this thing or have something like something or whatever, and we stood on that. But at the end of it, it doesn't matter.
I think the reason, maybe one of the main reasons why I've been weak, just to admit things here, is that you think about our unwillingness to go through pain sometimes. And if it's psychological, sometimes it'll drive a man to drink or use drugs or other things, anything but get up and go to the gym, right? And I think accepting that suffering is a part of life is a part of the maturing process. I think that meditation is super key, and the fact that we have Meditator Crypto to come and talk to us tonight about strength and what he does, I think is really awesome too. I mean, we reached out. He had been doing 100 push-ups a day, 100 sit-ups a day, 100 squats a day. He'd take a little video of himself, post it on X, and of course his posts got a lot of traction and very, very inspiring stuff. But he was so willing to come and spend time on this podcast and share with us his experience. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah, I'm really excited to speak with him. I feel a lot of synchronicities and just how we are and what he's doing. It's incredible, man. It's been really cool with shout out to all of our special guests that have been on fight. We've always had some great conversations, and I look forward to many more conversations. This one specifically, I think this one's a really good one because, again, it all starts from within, and just the will to do that, and then the vulnerability to be able to put this out and say, hey, this is just what I'm doing, but I want to share this with you as well, and to create the traction that he's created with it. I mean, it's not something that I necessarily, I don't put it out in the public, but I work out generally every day, and I do the push-ups and the crunches, and I just got some kettlebells, and I'm really excited to do a lot of these kettlebell workouts. And my biggest thing is just agility, mobility, flexibility, and just having a fully functional body, and kind of getting back into those primal states and primal movements, and swinging your legs around in front of you. And it's just all sorts of cool things, man. And
Hmm.
even picking up some mixed martial arts. I actually didn't tell you this, but I spoke with a gentleman who is judo. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we were talking about that. And honestly, man, I've been interested in either that or like Muay Thai or Taekwondo. Yeah. But, I always just wanted to do something with my body, but not get my teeth knocked out, more just like more training. Mom paid a lot for these teeth when I was young. I wouldn't want to disappoint her.
Brazilian jiu-jitsu, they don't have any striking in that. And I had my kids in that for a little while, wanted to get into it myself. And that might be something that I get into here soon. Cause, yeah, I don't know if you ever saw any of the early UFC fights, but Hoist Gracie,
Yeah.
man, he,
Yeah,
uh,
dude.
he took down some pretty big guys with those moves. So,
And honestly, guys, and you guys can punch me in the comments. That's exactly what I meant. I did not mean to say judo. It was absolutely jujitsu.
oh,
So
okay.
we stopped at judo. I stopped at judo. So forgive me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, you should, if you get an opportunity to get into some jujitsu, that is a good it's a good self-defense, I think. And I think the only thing that would make it better would be to maybe train and combine a little bit of striking, because even though you can't strike somebody in a jujitsu competition, if you're being attacked out in public, you can strike. So you might get a little practice in with that too. And
Yeah, most definitely. I know that that's going to be a heavy discipline. So that's got to be something that I am willing to commit my time to.
I want to, but I don't. Yeah, I just have so many other things that I'm starting right now. It's crazy. It's like I gotta take them one at a time, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. So best thing that I know that I can personally do is just keep working out and staying physically ready. So that way when it's time, it's not going to be that much of an adjustment as far as like just knowing how to leverage strength.
Yeah,
At that point.
workout sometimes if you're not in great shape, but it really does not take too long at all. I told you, Izzy, that I'm seeing changes in real time. It seems like, and so that's it's super motivating. It makes me want to just do more and more.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you get going, it's really you start to wonder, why would you stop? Why I've already gotten this far. I've
Hmm.
gotten even if it's just day one, you got through day one, then day two. It's like when we do this, like, why would we stop now? Like, there are no plans of stopping. And that again just goes right back into it. Once you get into that mentality, once you get into that zone of just not stopping, and no one's going to stop me, but again understanding the balance of just every consideration of others. We're not just going to go
Hmm.
70 miles an hour and run everybody off the road because we got to get somewhere. That's not what I'm saying either. And I feel like I have to say those things as a disclaimer too, just because like there really are people out there that take you literally. And I've seen that from other podcasts before, where people will just do things jokingly and it ends up harming other people. So that, just full disclaimer, but just having that balance of knowing that there are others around me, to be considerate of others. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm at. And these are my objectives. And this is the task at hand. Right.
Hmm.
So, and nobody's going to, get this done but me, because I'm the one who has to do it. And it's just the fact that you're doing. So remember and simplify the words. Just do.
I also think that you can let the discipline bleed over into those other areas, like we were talking about. So if you just start by saying I'm going to get up and do push-ups every morning, for me that has also led into me wanting to spend more time in church. I want to spend more time learning about things online when I'm not working out. So it's I feel like there's once you start to get a fire and a hunger for some of this stuff, it becomes a little addictive. And one of the keys, if you don't feel like you can get this fire, there is a little bit of a secret. And I do think that maybe we can tease enough of next week just to say that the mushroom coffee is a big part, I think, of what's been boosting my mental state. And with the boost in my mental state, it makes it a lot easier to take care of the other things.
Can I just say that it makes me feel incredible to be able to share that with you and to like hear your testament on it is it's really cool to hear from others side of how it makes them feel because I know for me started doing it again like a couple years ago or it
Mhm.
actually been like 3 years ago. I started doing it and then I started doing like regular, but I noticed the difference even when I was in Mississippi or no, yeah, I was in Mississippi and I had a Red Bull and I felt so weird, yo. Like it was the weirdest like those jitters that people talk about. Like I experienced those,
Mhm.
and then just switched right back to that. Like I was like, dude, no, and it just makes me feel so much better. Like just y'all just have to try it. It just makes you feel incredible. I do gosh, dude, black seed oil, man. So I was nice and gave my grandmother black seed oil capsules and I stuck with the actual oil. So doing a half like a quarter spoon or whatever of that. Ugh. So I do now like mushroom coffee, the black seed oil, and a fruit smoothie. Those are like the
Okay.
three. That's like the kind of like the trinity, like in the morning, along with some other regiments that I won't speak of. Um,
Yeah. You know what's crazy is I used to have all these pills that I would take in the morning. And we'll get more into probably mental health down the road too. But I did take a lot of prescriptions, and I am unmedicated, so I am actually running around unmedicated. But it's
I'm
it's
just
it's okay, guys. Um, but yeah, I think that's why holistic medicine is important. But my routine in the morning now consists mostly of just that coffee, and then yeah, going on my walk and things like that. But
yeah.
it's it's good not to have to take a bunch of pills every day. All right. Well, I think it's about time that we bring our special guest on. We got Meditator Crypto, and I just want to say, as you introduce yourself, that the challenge that you did on X and showing the videos, you doing the push-ups every day, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, I think is what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Super inspiring, man, and that's what really caused me to want to reach out. Um, something that I think we all need to be focused on: our strength and our physical fitness. But yeah, tell us about yourself and what caused you to do a challenge like that.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for having me here. Hello, Dynamis and Easy Human. My name is Evangelos. I've been into crypto almost 4 years or so. I lately love memes. I like memes, meme tokens. They make you laugh, and if they're fair lunch, then it's even better compared to some real utility projects they claim to be, and eventually they're slow rugs, right?
Yeah.
So I love Cardano because of its community, because of the safety that it has. So lately, that it started having more movement, more volatility, more volume, I started investing into memes in Cardano as well, except from other chains and stuff. Of course, with real utility cases in several blockchains as well. But when I saw the CHAD, I saw it way too late. The Charles the CHAD, the ticker. Actually, maybe I saw it in the beginning, but I wasn't. I didn't know what was, who made it. So I was like, okay, probably I lost the train there, right? So then Charles himself went into a space and started talking about the CHAD mentality and what is the CHAD mentality and how you have to earn the day. And doesn't matter even what you did yesterday, go on and continue. Or doesn't matter what you did today, go on and continue. And because lately I was kinda in that mentality, but not so much. I think I became quite lazy last month, or maybe I could say last year. Just to give a bit of backup of myself, I used to live in the Netherlands, and I was working there as a cook for like 12 to 14 hours per day. And then I came back to Greece. I had some money to the side that I made in the Netherlands because there they pay triple times. And now I live with my parents, and everything is way easy. And I found myself being like really lazy. And I was doing some trading stuff, working part-time. And then I saw this beautiful inspirational monologue that Charles did, talking about the CHAD mentality and what it is to wake up and seize the day. And I found in myself that I was waking up and not seizing the day by then. And then I liked that so much, so I started top blasting, as they say. I was just buying the top. And
That's how we all start, though. That's how we start, right?
Exactly, right? That's how you do the beginning, and then you start DCAing, buying every dip until you don't have any more money. And I'm quite
that's by the way, that's the phase I'm in. I'm in the phase where you don't have any money. So
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Exactly. And then I was like, okay, so this could be either a big financial mistake buying the top here, or I could turn it on my favor. And I was like, how will I calm myself not looking at the charts on a probable top and make something out of it? So then I was like, whoa, I can seize the day every day. I can do something, inspired by this, but as well inspiring for others also. And it was a couple of days ago, before I bought the CHAD, that I saw there's some inspirational as well accounts in Twitter, Path of Man or something like that. And one was saying every man should be able to do every day 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats. And I was like, whoa, that's a challenge. And then clicked into my mind, and I was like, okay, maybe I can make a CHAD mentality challenge, and if the community wants to follow, they can follow. And surprisingly, the first day got so many likes and retweets. It was amazing. That CHAD, they supported immediately, even if they didn't know me. And that's the power of the community. You start something, and if the community loves it, then it can go good. And I'm really happy that some people starting recording themselves and doing it. Some other people started doing it only with their profile picture. That was amazing feeling, actually.
Yeah, I think that the community has a lot of power. I think what's really been inspiring is your personal initial action. That I think people see that, and men have been craving, I think, that sort of inspirational action to get behind and do something for themselves. And so, man, just kudos for doing something that is brave, that you don't know, people are going to laugh at you or whatever, what sort of the situation may have been. But yeah, the Cardano community is a fantastic place, and I do think it's a very encouraging, safe place to be a bit experimental sometimes. So what else, what other things you have going on?
Yeah, thank you, mate. It was, it was, as you said, a little bit of risk, or how people would see it. But I believe, I'm almost 34 years old, and I've been through things. I've been through meditation a lot. That's why my name as well. And I was like, I'm not gonna care. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for me, and I'm gonna record it for a video for me, because I knew that even if I didn't, I knew that if I didn't make it somewhere visible, I wouldn't have the discipline, maybe, to continue doing it, and maybe I would hold myself back. But now that I was accountable to the whole community, I was like, okay, I need to record that video again. So it was fun, and it was really challenging, especially the first week, first 7 to 10 days. Man, my triceps were in pain like 9 to 10. I had like knots on on my triceps, and I was continuing. I was going as well into the gym, and I had to do bench press that day. And I was like, how am I gonna do it? And then I was like, okay, end the day, start at zero. These words, start at zero, was like, okay, forget what you did. And that's something that you do in meditation, right? Maybe you're half hour there, and then you need to do one more half hour, so eventually you have 1 hour in total, right? And you're there, and you're just sitting into nothingness, and you say, okay, I'm just starting again. I'm assuming that I just started now. If you start thinking, oh, I did already all of this and I still didn't finish my meditation and blah blah blah, it's going to wreck you mentally. And the funny thing is that through this process, you start pushing your physical limits, but as well your mental limits, and you start understanding so much for yourself that you would never, I think, never did if you weren't in a situation that you have to keep on going, keep on pushing, keep on earning the day. Doesn't matter if you're tired or not, if you did it already yesterday, or if you went to the gym 2 hours ago already.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're talking about like a mental fortitude that we all need to have. I think it's rare. I think it's what you're displaying is something that it's rare. There's not a lot of guys that can do that. And so yeah, it's something that we talk a lot about. I guess it's something that a lot of us fail to do. But I've been on the path myself here, just starting out. I'm probably up to about maybe 30 sit-ups a day. I'm not able to handle the 100 sit-ups a day yet. But
Mhm.
do you have any thoughts on that, about how I might work my way up to that?
Yeah, you just start small, and keep on going. Like the body is really, our body is really wise. It knows what it can do. Sometimes it tries to protect you as well, so it might give you some signs of maybe more pain or stuff like that. I would say, if you're a beginner in fitness, don't push, especially in the beginning, way too much, but just keep being consistent, and eventually it will come. If you ask me now, oh, you did this for 5.5 months, I don't even remember it was 5.5 months. Just stay in the now, and that's the whole thing you need to do. Just go through the day, and numbers doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah. Now, you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, you're coming in a little crackly.
Yeah, I was noticing that a little bit on my side here. I was hearing it, but I'm still. Hopefully, it's not too bad on your guys' end. But I just wanted to jump in to with all of the working out, man. I love it. It's become to the point where it's a part of the routine. It's the regimen, and due to Miss and I, we talk a lot, and definitely just from supplements to even just the whole thought process of it. The biggest thing is just a strong mental. Big, I feel like mental clarity is a definite big key to success with that. But from the physical aspect of it, I'm really big into the calisthenics. So when you're talking the push-ups, that's I do 100 every time, and if not, I do about 120, and then crunches wise, I've been trying a lot of different exercises. But I was even watching a video last night about the core is the core fundamental of all of your exercises. So no matter
Hmm.
what it is you're doing, your core is always going to be always going to be incorporated. So and also just the thought of doing something fast, even though it is important for the agility, also doing it slow, just to focus on the technique of that to really get the full range of motion that you need for your flexibility and to again increase that core activity, just to prevent a lot of those kind of like those silly like uh-oh moments where like, oh, I lost my footing because there was a weakness in your core, just in that brief moment. But just being grounded and all of that, and meditation too. That's a big thing for me. Also, I always want to meditate for at least 45 to an hour. That's been a part of my thing, just clearing your mind after all of that, being able to get that workout in, and then being able to like count your breaths and bring it back together and hit that reset button. Yeah, it's just for me, like, and due to Miss will tell you, I'm very esoteric on our shows. It's very much it's a spiritual freedom for me to be able to be ready, for anything, just and having the mobility, the flexibility, and the mindset too. All of that comes together full circle, and I love it. I love it.
Whoa, congratulations, man. You sound really strong. If you do all of this, wow, it's really strong. Really busy guy being a strong man. Congratulations. Sounds great, man.
God is good, man. God is good. I'm into the
Exactly.
kettlebells. I'm into the kettlebells now. That's my next thing, and I'm doing a lot of gorilla movements, man. It's very nice. It's cool. It's different.
Nice. Functional, huh?
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
Functional.
My biggest I think win with this challenge, except the mentality, was the mobility on my ankles and on my squats, right? I will post this on the next days. If you see my day one, I couldn't even go lower than 90 degrees squatting. I couldn't go lower. Like my muscles couldn't do it. And at the end of after 5.5 months, so even earlier, after 3 months or so, I managed to do a deep squat that I was never able to do it in my life, right? And that was amazing. Even people start
Very
noticing,
nice.
whoa, nice deep squat. And I was like, whoa, it's the first time in my life I'm getting a compliment for a deep squat, because most of the times I couldn't even do more. I couldn't even go lower than 90 degrees, right? And something else that I remembered from what you were just saying was like, not all the days are the same, and maybe that's for you, Dynamis, as well. Um,
Yeah.
and some days, you would still need to do the 100 or the 30 or what you said, but then instead of doing it explosively because the previous day you are on your primes, and you just want to boom 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 go there and just put these hundreds and finish, and then
Exactly.
go and eat or go out with your friends or whatever. It was some days that I needed to take more time for myself to do these hundreds, and maybe put some meditation music and make it like a meditation session, actually, with physical activity. And you just had to find a way through yourself. How am I going to go through this challenge today that I'm totally exhausted, but I still need to do it? And you find this with a different way.
Right. Exactly that, dude. Yeah, you're right. And that every workout is different. Even if it's the same workout on a different
Hmm.
day, it's just about how you approach it. And I love that, setting up circuits, and I like to do a counterclockwise lap to keep the breathing at
Hmm.
steady. And that's a moment too where I'm in my head, and not in a negative way, but it's just in my head, and sorting it out, channeling it in, putting it all together. There's a mantra that I have when I step out onto the field, as I would say, is my mind is stronger than my body. So
What? Nice.
yeah, when I'm out there and it doesn't, and pain is one thing. If you're doing something and you're actually straining yourself, you don't want to hurt yourself, but just the mentality of, man, like, I've done 3 sets, I've got another left. Nah, I can probably skip it. Like, nah, do the 4 sets. You already said you're going to do it. It's already written on the
Yeah.
board. And then you've got the board too. I just told Dunamis I got a board. The board holds me accountable. All the tasks that I need to do, write the workout down. If it says 4 sets, it's 4 sets. And or we go until fail. The only time that we're altering the workout is if we're going to fail, not lowering the count.
Exactly. I mean, that's when you win, right? Especially if you're an expert. If you're a beginner, okay, you need to find your way through there. But that last set, that failure, that's when you win. If you have 12 reps on your set and you do 11 and you fail and you cannot do the 12 at all, that's a win. That's something that's something you did good. As I was saying in the beginning, our body, it's really wise, but it's also really overprotective sometimes. Except if you're a beginner, right? Of course, as a beginner, but in the beginning you have to watch it a little bit. But the more you go into the intermediate level, you can start understanding that now my mind and my body, they want to protect me with the pain. So they're giving me pain signals to not do this fourth set that you were saying. But there you need to find the mental strength, the physical strength, and say, okay, doesn't matter. I'm going to the fourth and let's see what happens. Maybe I won't do 12, I'll do 11. But then you still went,
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love too what you were saying earlier about the meditation combined with physical activity, and we've discussed a lot in our solitude episode in particular. We were talking about meditation and how it's different for every person, and personally with me, it's typically when I'm taking a walk outside in nature, and so I've found that after that meditative walk, it's easier for me to get into exercise as well. So I think I'm starting to build a routine in that fashion where I'm going to take my walk, meditate, and then sort of end it with the resistance exercise. But man, it's really interesting hearing some of these things, and I am definitely a beginner. When it comes to working out, I've tried to be more physically active in the past 4 years or so, but this is really like, I feel like this summer is the summer where I'm turning it up and starting to really work out. I want to just change course a little bit while we have you here and ask about you'd mentioned, of course, Chad, but wanted to give you the opportunity to mention a little bit about what you're doing with the project, the swap project that you have going on. If you could tell us about that.
Oh, the zero swap, the zeros token, you mean?
Absolutely, yeah. Let us know about that.
Yeah, thank you for bringing this up, mate. As I was saying a little bit, in the warm up that we're talking, I've been into trading and into crypto for 4 years. In the beginning, I didn't know anything, right? As everybody, I guess. You start at nothing. You start at zero every day. And then I started learning. Honestly, I fell in love with crypto. I fell in love with the patterns, with the green and red candles. Why the green is green? Why the red is red? Why the ascending triangle has this breakout and everything, Is it just astrology or is it proven or whatever? And because I'm into psychology as well, I finished now my second degree. My first degree is in sports science, and my second degree now it is in psychology and counseling. I started finding these patterns of the candles that might be connected with the psychology of people, the psychology of the market, and the psychology of the market makers, of course. And I was in another blockchains, EVMs as well and stuff. And I was making tutorial videos just for myself to put them out there, right? So some people approached me and they told me, look, we have these decks and we want you to do us some tutorial videos about staking, about liquidity providing, about price impacts, slippage, everything. I was like, yeah, but I don't know all of this stuff. They said, don't worry, just read it. Read this article, play on the testnet and everything, So then I started playing with all of this and I found out what is actually happening, especially in small caps, right? In tokens like there's really few players there. It's a PvP thing. You buy a token early and then you start shilling it to the people. And if it has no utility, is just, for me, it's like a dark energy, you know. It's like you're trying to approach people just to sell it, dump it on their heads. And after finding this routine, in the beginning, you know, I started, of course, I started trading myself. I started um, I was part of that, and I was like, what am I doing here? You know, I'm just buying a token, and I'm saying, oh yeah, pump it, and then when it pumps, I'm selling it. Okay, in the big market caps, they're market makers, they're of the whole world, they're the whales that they might be pumping themselves. In the big picture, doesn't matter, you know, it's a whole market. But if you're doing it PvP, I was like, what am I doing, you know? And then I had this idea to make a good out of this volume. Because if you see, for example, in a new token, let's say for example, do you remember Waldo, when Charles posted a picture of him with a with a colorful t-shirt or whatever, and he said,
Waldo thing for sure.
yeah, and he said nobody's asking what Waldo is doing, right? And then somebody just took that, and it made 1 million volume in 24 hours. ADA volume, 1 million. That means that 500,000 ADA was bought and 500,000 ADA was sold, or maybe a variation of that. That means that the people that bought earlier, they just dumped it on the heads of the newbies that they don't know anything and just trying to chase green candles, right? For me, that's really, I don't know, I would say it like bad, dark energy. So I was thinking, how could I make something fun, something that will include trading, to include all the people who want to trade, people that are having this, this hope of winning something, because that's a nice thing. I also do it for myself, right? I'm having this hope, I want to trade, I want to gamble a little bit and stuff. But will as well, eventually, even if you lose or even if you win money, the whole project is going to give something white, something positive eventually. So my first original thought a year ago, that I was building this in my head for a year, was an economic design that where the project will be able to accumulating funds through, an arbitrage situation, accumulating funds for free mental health therapies.
Wow.
Yeah, I was thinking of an NFT swap that will make the NFTs liquid, that you will be able to swap them for your fungible token. That was the Coffee Monk's idea. And I was asking for Catalyst 2 times for 150,000 ADA to run it, because then it would need to be a legal company with at least 5 psychologists, and a real big thing, right? With, you need to start with lawyers and everything. You needed money for that. But eventually, I never managed to take this. The community voted for 20 millions last time, but I needed more than 49 millions in votes. Then I would have taken it, but I didn't manage it. So we had this token that's called Zeros, that we 100% fairly launched it. The funny thing is that we fairly launched it 100% as a Nike killer. At the past,
The pig.
Yeah, the pig, right? So Nike is the pig, and in Greece we kill the pigs, the pork, to make it gyros, right? We wrap it into a pita.
Of course.
Yeah. We wrap it into gyros tasty, yeah.
Very good.
We wrap it into a pita, and we put some fries, tzatziki, and everything, and we make it a nice toast. So I found this hilarious, and I was actually going to eat some gyros after the beach. We have really nice beaches here in Greece, and I was like, okay, we're gonna make this meme token. And after a little bit of the narrative, it went like, how difficult actually, it's a really full-time job to make a token, to be there, to have volume, to have utility. After, that was almost a year. In a few days, we have a year. After a bit, it kind of died, and then we said we need to give another narrative to this project. And meanwhile, we're working with the Coffee Monks and the Catalyst funds. We were building from behind the scenes this Euros token, but with a more positive way inspired of these coffee monks, the same thing with NFT swap. And eventually, when we didn't take the funding for the coffee monks, we took all of this economic design that we built for coffee monks, and we just made the simpler concept. And now we have built our own dApps from scratch with our own money and own time. Nobody paid us. We didn't take any funding. And we made an NFT FT swap. And the 50% of the income from these dApps, we're giving it away to kids in Africa to have food in Sierra Leone and to rebuild a school in Kenya. And it's, yeah, go on.
I was just gonna say, man, this amazing the stuff that you've done and you're doing. It's so inspiring.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
That's major Chad mentality right there. That's
thank you, man. You know, sometimes I was thinking, I wish I never started zeros, you know, this token. I wish I never started. I spent so much time, money. I've put quite a lot of ADA in there. But then when I see it coming reality, or when I see, you know, the pictures of the school, how was it before, with holes, literally holes on the wall, you can see the sun going through, and then you can see it next day that is built, it's white, fresh, painted and stuff. And when I saw the other day, man, one guy minted one NFT. We took the 50% of the funds of the NFT, and we gave away the donation, and the other we supported our token. So this design, it supports both NFT and the token. They both have let's say support from the mint. And then this guy was able to go to use our zero swap. He minted for 40 ADA, and he swapped his NFT for 20 million zeros and immediately sold it on the market for 160 ADA. So he made 4 times his money from donating. He donated, he quadrupled his money with triple time profit. And
wow.
our chart has a little bit of a red candle, and now it's already 20-30% higher than that. It's crazy.
Awesome. Well, we'll say, of course, that outcomes are going to be different for everybody in memes, and so everything we say is, of course, never financial advice. But man, that's killer. That's such an incredible model, and I'm really excited now just to go and check out and see what it is that you guys have going on. So.
Yeah, if you could mint one and swap it, I mean, it's just only for the ADA, and you can see you can see how it's going. But as you said, you're really right. You know, doesn't matter how good the protocol is on a token and on an open market, nothing goes up straight or down straight. Down straight might go, but nothing goes up straight and forever, right? It's like in nature, you can see it everywhere. Everything moves in cycles. Everything moves in waves. You know. Even if with this economic design that supports everything, and to have bigger liquidity and buybacks and donations and everything, one time there will be the top or the local top. You never know when this time will be. So yeah, you cannot say, okay, this is a best project with best intentions and stuff. Always invest or play with that amount that you're easy to lose, that you can afford to lose it, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. And there's definitely a such thing as overinvesting. I did that a lot in the end of the last bull run there in 2020, 2021, 2022. Bought the top, just like you're saying, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, it hurts when that happens, but it's good to know that you can always start the next day from zero. You can always come back. And your story is so inspirational. I just want to again thank you for taking the time today to talk to us and be a part of sharing your story with the audience. It's very, very inspirational.
Of course, and thank you so much for the invitation, mate. I mean, I really appreciate it. I don't speak every time, and so often, you know. Funny thing is, lately with this challenge, more people are starting inviting me. But thank you so much for being one of these persons inviting me here.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice night.
What What a solid conversation, Dunamis, with Evangelos. Shout out to Evangelos for joining us
Oh yeah.
and just speaking his truths, man.
That's incredible. I mean, what he's done is really inspirational, and so, man, I think it's awesome. It's really great to be able to get back to back special guests too. That's not something that we really, you know, get very often.
Yeah, would you like to be a guest host on the fight? Go ahead and hit jump in them comments. Ah, ha, ha.
Yeah, or even just slide into our DMs. You know what I'm saying? Let us know you want to be on the podcast, and there's been a few people that have reached out. We do have some special guests coming soon, but I would say that we also have topics coming up that we don't have special guests for, and we still need to talk about them.
Yeah, the super, I don't want to say super special, but it is super special to me because I get mad esoteric about this. But, you know, we're going to get a little holistic, you know, this time around the next corner. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, if you made it to the end, I'd say drop a raised fist emoji down in the comments.
Raise them high.
Raise them high. As always, like, subscribe, make sure and follow us on X. You know, jump in the Discord. We'll be there probably for about a half an hour or so after the show. Yep. And Izzy, man, it's great. I love doing this every week, and I can't wait to do it next week.
Indeed. Always a pleasure. We'll be back next week, y'all.
Awesome. Never give up the fight.
Never give up the fight.
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.